The name of this series of videos is Activate America, with the key word being activate. The idea is to give you guidance for activation, not just information without a direct purpose. We will be restating things we have said before, but they are particularly important at this time. It is for both you personally and for the constitutional movement in general, because there's an obvious strategy to shut down any opposition to what is happening to make our country over into a communist state. A key aspect of this drive is to demonize conservatives in the minds of the general population of Americans. There are two reasons. One, to ostracize conservatives so the general population will not pay any attention to them. And two, to create the condition where the general population will stand still for the physical silencing of conservatives. By physical, I mean to the point of incarceration and complete censorship. We have to understand the left's tactics in order not to give them ammunition to use against us. The tactic being used is to get conservatives to react. Oftentimes, conservatives react verbally, personally or through social media, and the left promoted it as extremism. This is being done with a constant promotion of unconstitutional edicts to get Americans to react as violently as possible. The reaction of a conservative defending their rights and protecting against the many violations of the Constitution is all the left needs for making the conservative look like the real terrorists. What we will witness in the end is free speech being turned into terrorism in the minds of the people. In addition, they want conservatives to react physically during public demonstrations and other times to be able to capture such events on video, to likewise use them as bad examples of domestic terrorists. They will not do the same for the real terrorists or communists in our streets, just the conservatives, who have grown frustrated and start to react publicly to what they see as a growing dictatorship. This is how it works. First, get good people to form demonstrations and rile them up. Second, get small groups of leftists to confront these demonstrators, even commit acts of violence. Third, get the demonstrators to react to acts of intimidation or violence, which the media then videos or photographs. Fourth, use these images of reaction by the demonstrators to convince the general population that the conservatives are militant, violent, and the real terrorists. You may recall that on this program, we warned people not to get involved with what may happen in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. Unfortunately, many played right into the left's hands by being arrested or harmed due to confrontation. What is happening right now is no different. The forced vaccine, the forced wearing of face masks, the increasing controls over our lives and businesses is building frustration. Now add to that the Republicans and others that are really doing nothing. For instance, the Republican Central Committee raised a lot of money in the name of the phony 2020 elections, but did nothing relative to helping investigate or sue the authorities in charge of the election process. They not only did nothing, they stood in the way of those who did want to do something through the courts. This has always been their history. The same is true relative to a lot of other issues as well. Talk, and blame the Democrats. For those of you who watch these videos and others, you know that the real culprits are more than Democrats. Americans are frustrated to see that the political party they rely on is doing nothing. Soon this frustration can lead to doing things which will not solve the problems and have the potential of placing good people in harm's way. In some instances, the government has planted agents into groups of good Americans. Once inside, the agents try to get them to perform illegal acts. This obviously lands them in jail, and headlines are made. In the end, decent people are branded as the new terrorists. This was the case with the attempted kidnapping of the governor of Michigan and within the crowd before the Capitol on January 6th. If you have been following other episodes, you may recall me telling about how the government tried to plant an agent into my chapter back in the late 1960s. He tried to get us to perform violent and illegal acts. It didn't work, and we very soon parted company and dropped him from membership. A year later, it was found that he did get local patriots involved in illegal activity, and they all got from 10 to 20 years in jail, plus front-page headlines about right-wing terrorists being the problem, when all around us, left-wing organizations were organizing arson, riots, and bombings. It took the heat off the communists and placed it on the misled patriots, all courtesy of the federal government. So let us review. The left, in and out of government, will create frustrating conditions where people will start to say, "Why doesn't somebody do something?" Then some will want to get involved in very unwise tactics, giving the left the opportunity to provoke people into violence or illegal acts which can be used to move the general population against Americanists. The solution isn't to organize rallies or public demonstrations. When these events are over, then what? Demonstrations rarely work unless the government and media are on your side. In our case, they aren't. The real solution is to educate others as to the real problems and their solutions, and then organize them into an effective local organization under national leadership, an organization to influence local opinion molders. Never allow anyone into your ranks that advocate confrontation or anything illegal. Get rid of them. Have nothing to do with them. Only place people you know into leadership, people that you trust because you've worked with them over time. Educate others, and then organize them into effective, active opposition. Plan and carry out activities which educate people face to face. Go door to door. Have booths at public events. Host speakers into your community. Concentrate on those things that actually get you in front of other people. Again, face to face. Only face-to-face activities grows a sense of community. Grow the circle of those in your community who really understand what is going on. As you build your local organization and get them active, things will begin to change in your community, since the voting patterns will change and the people will start to make different decisions based on what they've come to understand. Organize through the only real organization, the John Birch Society. Be wise. Organize.